Good afternoon. Limbic system. The limbic form is the lact inverse of the limbus. The broad are the edges, separate by the medial surface of cerebral cortex from the disocephaly. It consists of number of cortical structure, subcortical structure, olfactory system, and the lobe connections. The lobe connection of the projection of the hypothalamus. The limbic system is complete the group of the cortical and subcortical structure. That is the around the ring shape. That is the highlightation of the cerebral hemisphere. The limb means ring. It also known as the limbic lobe. The earliest is called the rhinocephalon. Limbic system is the oldest part of the brain. It is the related to the olfactory lobe. It's the prominent of structures in the fish. Limbic system is the oldest part of our brain and it's related to the olfactory lobes. That is the prominent structures in the fish and the reptiles and mammals. Limbic system. Limbic system is the primarily related to the emotional part of our life and is the externally concerned with the memory. The structure of limbic system is classified into four groups. Arcuate structures from the arcuate structure from the alveolocortex along with the parallel cortex. That is the phylogenetic and the oldest structure of the concept of the memory. The phylocortex structures that is situated between the archocortex and the neocortex that is connected the olfactions. The gesticulocortex are the mesocortical structure that is situated between the palocortex and the neocortex. The subcortical structure is situated between the level of the cortex is called a subcortical structure. The limbic system including the six subcortical structures. The limbic system is the arcuate structure, that is the hippocampus, the dendrocytes, and the palicocortical structure, that is the piriform cortex, olfactory lobe, olfactory tubercle. Gesticulocortical structure, that is concerned with cyclotic areas of the limbic cortex, orbito, orbitoencephalotemporal cortex. Subcortical structure, that is the amygdaloid complex, septal nucleus, thalamic nucleus, and hypothalamic nucleus, and reticular formation of the midbrain. There's connection of the limbic system. Limbic system, that is brain structure including the limbic cortex of limb lobes, hippocampus, hippocampal formation, amygdaloid, anterior thalamic nucleus, and hypothalamus, septal nucleus, and olfactory system of the hypothalamus nucleus. This is the limbic system. This is the have the anterior nucleus, thalamus, septal nucleus, and fornix, hippocampus, mammillary bodies, and the amygdaloid complex. The connection of the limbic system. The connection of the limbic system is complex followed by the major afferent and the efferent connection of the limbic system. The afferent and efferent connection, the fornix and include the fibers connection, the hippocampus and the septal nucleus, which is the mammillary bodies, and the hippocampus with the hypothalamic nucleus. The lateral hypothalamus receiving the afferent fibers and from the hippocampus. The septal nucleus, olfactory tubercle, and cauda nucleus periforms are the perimetoglide area. The caudata nucleus receiving the afferent fibers from the secrete area of the interlacular nucleus of the thalamus. Brainstem, the reticular formation of receiving the afferent fibers from the hippocampus and the sigmoid area, the pappus secrete. The pappus secrete is closed nerve circuit to formation of the interconnections between the various structures of the limbic system, which is the complex of the closed circuit. This circuit was described by the pappus. The pappus circuit plays the role in the memory encounter. The composed pappus circuit is the hippocampus, mammillary body, anterior thalamic nucleus, and sigmoid gyre. The hippocampus, the fornix area. This is the lower limb, the fornix of the mammillary bodies, and the connector and mammillary fibers, the thalamofiber cortex, sigmoid gyre to the cortico or hippocampal fibers to the hippocampus. This is the circulation. The functions of the limb. See, this is the structure that is subcleural area and the cingulate area is Thomas. And the paracleural area, the hippocampus, the corner annular, this is the horseshoe pad of the structure that is each of the cerebral hemisphere. Site of the solar structure, in fact, of part of the temporal lobe. The limbic system involving the formation of the organization and the storing of the memory. Important from the new memories to the connecting the emotion and sense and the sensation, such a small sound and the memories. It's act of the memory of the index of the send by sending the memory to the appropriate part of the cerebral cortex. Long-term storage and the retrieval of the need functions of the this the memory they file the new memory of the hippocampus is connected the necessary with the consolidator of the new short-term memory. It's the efferent pathway of the called as the fornix. And the fornix is the C-shaped group, the fibers connecting the hippocampus with the mammillary bodies consist of the familiar and the two crushes, one body and two columns. The fornix are of the inverter. The limbus of the hippocampus formation that is pepper gare and the hippocampus fornix mammillary body and anterior. Hippocampus forming it consists of the hippocampus is a dendrite gray lies between the hippocampus and the peripheral hippocampal gyrus. The medial hippocampus and the subcutaneous and the act as the floor of the hippocampus. Entire area of the area number 20 is gray matters. Amygdala. Amygdala is the shape. Amygdala shape mass of nucleus situated the site of the lies nearby the temporal pole close to the tail of the chordata nucleus. The function is consist of it invited of the fear, emotion, angry, hormonal secretion. That is the amygdala function. Input the associative area of the visual, auditory, and the somatosensory cortex. Output the hypothalamus and autonomic nucleus in the brainstem. Septal nucleus. The site is located by the anterior to the intervertebral septum. Main continuous of the hypothalamus throughout the medial forebrain bulge. The subrolar nucleus throughout the cilia of medullary thalamus. Function with the pleasure zone. This is the provide the citric impact. Lesion of associated with the limbic lobe disorders early disorder, that is the psychosis, the loss of the new memories at the time of the lesion, the return of the old memories. Anterograde anemia, the inhibited gain of the new memory. The most common are the B1 defect of the B1 thymus. Temporal lobe epilepsy. So the again function of limbic system olfaction, the piriform cortex amygdaloid nucleus together form the olfactory connection. The regulation of the endocrine gland, the hypothalamus plays important role. Regulation of the endocrine regulation of autonomic function. The hypothalamus plays the important role of the regulation in the autonomic function, such as the heart rate and the blood pressure and water balance and body temperature. Regulation of the food intake, along with the amygdaloid complex feeding the center of the satisfied center. The hypothalamus regulates the food intake. The controlling of the cigarette rhythm, the hypothalamus responds the circadian fluctuation of the various physiological activity. Regulation of the sexual function. The hypothalamus maintain of the sexual function by both men and the animals. The role of the emotional status, emotional human being maintained by the hippocampus along the hypothalamus. The role of the memory hippocampus, the papes are quite important to the role of memory, role of motivations. The rewards and the punishment center present in the hypothalamus and other structures in the limbic system are the responding the motivator behavior pattern of the human brain. So lesions of the system limbic system, that is the purpose of psychotics, that is loss of the new memories of the time, lesion of the rectal memory. Second, we have the temporal lobe epilepsy, the hippocampus common focus site of the epilepsy that can be damaged throughout the chronic seizures. It sometimes damage of disease such as the herpes encephalitis, Alzheimer's disease. That hippocampus, one of the first brain area, shows the damage of the Alzheimer's disease. So, these are the conditions. Again, we going to the limbic system. Limbic system is set of the brain structures like the limbic cortex and limbic lobe, hippocampus, hippocampal formation and amygdala, then the anterior thalamic nucleus, hypothalamus, and the septum nucleus and fornix, and the olfactory system, the habicular nucleus. This is all the structures of the brain system to the nucleus. So against the what are the parts of the limbic system? The cortical structures, that is the subcortical structures, and the olfactory system. All these structures have the several loops connecting of the pathway. The cortical structures of the limbic lobe and the limbic lobe, that the C-shaped ring, that of the gray matter, the medial surface of the each cerebral hemisphere surrounding the corpus callosum, which is somewhere included the subcallosal areas, the great gyre and isthmus, and the parahippocampal gyre and the anicus and the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the horseshoes pad structure, that one of each of the campus. The site is the scrolled structures, that is the inferior part of inferior medial part of the temporal lobe. It's the limbic system structure that involved in the formation, organization, and the storing the memories. Its important function, the new memories and the connecting the emotional and sense such as smell, sound, and the memory. It is act the memory of the in interacted sending members. That is the appropriate part of the cerebral cortex of the long-term storage and rectification information need. The function, the memory of the file of the memory cortical. The hippocampus is connecting the necessary for the consolidation of new term. The principal efferent pathway of called is the phonics. Phonics is the Phronix is the she-shaped group. The fibers connecting the hippocampus of the mammillary body consist of the two familia, two curious, and one body and one column. The words signalium and curinus of the cortex, that is the pieces purpose circuit connection is the paracampal area and the hippocampus, fornix, mammillary body, anterior thalamic nucleus. The fornix is the important connection of the parallel circuit. The hippocampal formation is connections of the hippocampus, the dendrite gyre, and the lies between the hippocampus and the parahippocampal gyrus, the medial hippocampus, subcampus, the space of floor of the hippocampus, the embryonic area number 28. In interstitial gray matter upper surface of the roof of the corpus callosum. Then the amygdala. The amygdala is the shape. The amygdala shape is the mass of the nucleus. Site is the lies near the temporal pole, close to the tail of the caudata nucleus. The function, it is the involved in the fear, emotion, anger, hormonal secretion. Input the association of the area visual, auditory, some somata cortex. The output hypothalamus, autonomic nucleus of the brainstem. If you have the lesion of the amygdala, the lack of emotional response to the leaders. Septal nucleus. The septal nucleus, the site is the localized anterior of to the intervertebral septum, the main connection of the hypothalamus and throughout the medial forebrain of the bundle. The habronuclear nuclei throughout the stair of the medial thalamus. Function, that is the pleasure zone, that is the providing the cerebral lesions of associated of the limbic disorder, the psychosis, the loss of the new memories at the time of the lesion, the rectine of the old memory. The anterior grade of amnesia. Anterior grade amnesia, inability to gain new memories. The most common are in the alkalies of the B1 deficiency. The temporal lobe epilepsy. The hippocampus common formation of site of the epilepsy, that is the damage of the through the chronic seizures. It's sometimes damage of disease which such as herpes epilepsy. Alzheimer's disease, the hippocampus is the new of the first brain area showing the damage of the Alzheimer's disease. Thank you.